City Council meeting for the City of Sandy Oaks, November the 12th, 2015. All right, 6:31 p.m., November the 12th, Thursday, November the 12th, 2015. The regular City Council meeting in the City of Sandy Oaks is now in session. Roll call, David Tremblay. Present. Doug Tomasini. Here. Mickey Ball.
Here.
Joel Ortega. He's absent. Myself, Ernest Gay, I'm here. We do have a quorum. Get everybody to stand and we'll have a pledge of allegiance. It's a little bitty flag again. We don't have a big one yet. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Y'all can be seated. What we're going to have tonight is we're going to have the oath of office for our new city council. First one that we're going to do tonight is I'm going to do the one for Mickey Ball for mayor, and then she will take over and do the oath of offices for the new councilman coming in. And that will be the extent of my participation in this meeting, or my conducting of this meeting. Need to find your stack of paperwork in there. It's probably this last one.
Right here? Yeah, that's me.
Okay, that's a copy for you. She's already got it.
For me.
Okay, first thing that we have to have you do is do the statement of officer.
I have that.
You have one done already.
Of course I do.
Okay. What I need you to do here, please, if you would, is sign one in blue ink for Miss Rob down there. She does everything in blue. That way when the copies get made, she knows which one's the
Cassandra,
copy.
should I use the same date I signed this one, or today's date?
Use the same date you signed the first one.
Okay.
Just-
Okay.
Okay.
So I get to
And
keep that one.
you get to keep that one.
Okay.
And that's the one that you'll read from right there. Okay. In the name and authority of the state of Texas, the oath of office for mayor. I, please state your name,
I, Mickey Ball,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of mayor
of the office of mayor
of the city of Sandy Oaks of the state of Texas,
of the city of Sandy Oaks of the state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability preserve,
and will, to the best of my ability, preserve,
protect, and defend the Constitution
protect, and defend the Constitution
and the laws of the United States
and the laws of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. You are the new mayor. Your honor. Very good. And I need to sign one of these.
blue?
In blue, yeah, let's see here. Signature of person administering the oath.
So this is my certificate. Right here.
Okay. And you would just sign the top, and then that would be hers.
Okay.
Try to see if it's actually recording. I guess it's recording, yes.
I'll collect these. So we have one of these for each of,
I did two of them in each of the packages. That way everybody would have their own copy.
perfect. Okay. Who is, since you're right here, David, let's do you next. So here is your certificate of election. And you have a statement of officer already signed in blue ink? No? Well, here.
Oh, wait, that's the,
Do we need multiple copies, Bob?
are you talking about the, oh, sorry. you're
No,
right.
the state, oh, he gets
Yeah,
it.
I have the oath first.
Okay, these are your copies. Okay. I, David K. Tremblay,
I, David K. Tremblay,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of Alderman Place 1
of the office of Alderman Place 1
for the city of Sandy Oaks
for the city of Sandy Oaks
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will do to the best of my ability preserve,
and will do to the best of my ability preserve,
protect, and defend the Constitution
protect, and defend the Constitution
and the laws of the United States and of this state.
of the laws of the United States and of this state,
So help me God.
so help me God.
I need you sign here. Okay. Okay. Ms. Gillespie, there you are. Would you please come up? There's 2 seats available, so you can choose one. This is your certificate of election. And then I also need you to read and sign the statement of officer, and we have a blue pen right here. In fact, I'll put you over here so I can.
I believe that big pen is the blue one.
I'm sorry?
I believe that big pen is.
Yes.
Same date as the other one I signed or not?
Did you sign one already?
Uh-huh. You didn't bring it with me?
Use the same date, yeah.
I don't know what day it was.
Well, then sign today. Okay, so I will take that and put it here. What have we got here? Oh, this is your copy of the statement. And then your copy of the oath. Okay. And if you're ready.
I guess.
Okay.
It's 2 years.
It's a commitment. Raise your right hand. I, B.J. Gillespie,
I, B.J. Gillespie,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties,
of the office of Alderman Place 5
execute the duties of the office of Alderman Place 5
for the city of Sandy
for
Oaks
the city of Sandy Oaks
of the state of
of
Texas,
the state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution
and the laws of the United States
and the laws of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I need you to sign here, please. Okay, let me sign this one. Okay, have a seat. You're official here.
Oh, yours.
Since before the meeting.
Okay, Ms. Tanguma is not here this evening, so we'll do her swearing in at the next meeting. She's ill, so.
Okay. Councilman Ortega comes over and so takes over.
Okay. Let me make a note of that.
That's okay. I'm good.
Do we have the list of the citizens to be heard? Okay. Moving on to item number 4 on the agenda, citizens to be heard. This item will be open for 30 minutes with 3 minutes for each speaker. If there's more than 10 speakers, then each will be given 10 minutes. And it looks like we have 5. Ernest Gay.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, and citizens of San Diego. So I wish to thank you for the last year and about 3 months that you've allowed me to serve on the council. I have enjoyed it. It's been a lot of work, and a lot of what people thought, it wasn't an us and them. If those that have been here have noticed that probably 95% of everything that was done was pretty much unanimous all the way across the board. The other things that I wanted to address were a couple of the items that were on today's agenda. Number 11, the WPPOA assets and properties. That's been bounced around quite a bit. It's something that the citizens of Waterwood are either going to pay for, the city of San Diego is going to pay for. Somebody needs to get on board and really think about that. That's going to be an opportunity that's going to be lost before too long. The next one was number 18 on your list. To discuss and consider providing limited authority to the mayor to pursue land and building acquisition on behalf of the city. I think that would set a very bad precedent in this city to give any one person even limited authority to acquisition land or property. I know that there's been a couple of buildings that have come up that have been available, and we weren't able to get them because of time constraints that the state or the builders or whatever put on those buildings. Land acquisition, I think that is absolutely totally unnecessary. We have a 30-acre park over there. Any land that you acquisition to put a building on, you're going to need to put your septic, your parking, get your utilities brought in. By the time you spend all of that money for the land and what you have, you are going to have far more spent than you ever would on a proposed cleanup of a park. And if you did it this way, you still wouldn't have a park when it's ended. And like I say, I just think it's a very poor precedent on that one to set. Just my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm taking the white.
Enjoy.
Thank you, Ernest. Okay, next up is Carlos Zamora. Does he not want to talk? He's sitting right there next to the gentleman in the cap. Oh, yes, he wants to
He
speak.
probably, is that him right there?
The gentleman next to you, Pat.
He probably can.
Did you want to speak to the city council?
No, I thought I had to thank you. Oh,
Okay, okay. Next up is Damon Gibbs. Hi.
Hi, I'm David Gibbs. I just wanted to kind of talk to some people about it. I purchased, my girlfriend and I own the property next to the Dollar General and all that surrounding it. I'm sure all of you are familiar with it. We also sold that property to the Dollar General and brought them over here. I'm trying to build a little strip mall back there behind it. I'm just making everybody, I have a bunch of people that are inquiring what's going on back there, and I'm fixing to start trying to do something, so I'm just trying to make everybody aware of what I'm doing. I want to build a little retail space so people can come with their ideas and rent from me and bring whatever, whatever they're going to bring to it. So I'm just kind of talking a little bit and just trying to get to know some people and let y'all get to know me. So,
Well, thank you.
all right.
What is your name again?
Damon Gibbs,
How do you spell your first name?
D-A-M-O-N,
Gibbs, G-I-B-B-S?
E-D-S,
Oh, G-E.
G-I-B-B-S,
B-B-S. Okay. Do you have, is there a name for your company, or do you, okay.
EdgeCon, it's Edge Construction. And we built several houses around in Waterwood and Hickory Haven and Hickory Hollow back there, little subdivisions.
Is there other people
There is, I have cards and work online.
What's the name of it again?
Edge Construction,
Ed's Construction?
E-D-G-E,
Edge?
Edge.
Oh, Ed.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Javier Ramos.
How y'all doing? My name's Javier Ramos. I'm actually pretty close to where Gibbs is. I own the property that's behind Valero's, across from the Dollar General. and I would ask the council if they will put me on the agenda to approve building plans that I have in process that we've been working over the last 2 to 3 years. I've gotten some plans from an engineered structural designer that I'd like to submit, see if you guys will put me on the agenda to see if I could get your approval to continue building. What I'm looking at is a fast food, not necessarily fast food, but a restaurant that's located behind Valero's that will include a drive-through. I'm looking at a family-orientated business there. I'm looking at, of course, the Disability Act that we're looking at, because I've had some people have been disabled. And I'm trying to make it convenience for us people that live out there. I'm a member of Sandy Oaks. I live out in this area. Some of the things that I've looked at, the needs that I would like, is a restaurant that provides a drive-through service. I think the community coming out, again, it's a good area that's growing there. Drive-through, getting the coffee, getting the tacos, getting the ice cream more. And then people are coming home at the end of the evening looking for a different place to eat than our regular stops, Whataburger, Burger King, Bill Miller's. I'm looking at maybe a barbecue pit area. I'm looking at ice cream, shaved ice for the kids. I'm looking at a family atmosphere. The drawings that they brought out for me is a country-style, rustic-looking building. So I'm just going to ask if you guys will put me on the agenda for your approval, and so I can get your recommendations and move forward with the plan.
Perfect. We'll do
Thank
that.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got to talk a little bit.
I did talk to him. Okay, Kathleen Resio?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I got a lot of calls throughout the last couple of weeks and a majority of today. A lot of folks have asked if the city council will consider putting the meeting at a later time so they can make it from Austin, San Antonio, their jobs. A lot of them don't get off until 6 or 6:30, so they're not able to make these meetings in time. Also, there seems to be a lot of confusion when I talk to neighbors. A lot of people still don't know that we're the city of Sandy Oaks. And the reason being is Sandy Oaks is an olive orchard. Our paper of record is in Wilson County. Our meetings are held in the city of San Antonio. Unless you have internet access, you don't know what's going on at the meetings, and if you're disabled, elderly, or incapable of coming to the meetings for work purposes, then you don't know what's happening in the city. You don't know how many folks wanted to know how come there's a new city council, how come there wasn't an election, are we a city, are there ordinances, are there taxes, do we have a police department or not? And all this information, I think, would be easier if the city, whether it's required by law or not, reached out to the community through a newspaper or called the media or got some sort of billboard or sign or something to let people know what's really going on. So I'm just bringing that to your attention because it's a frustration that's still happening, and there's a bigger attendance today because hopefully we've reached out to more people. But there's thousands of people in this community that still don't know what's happening. So I would hope the city council would reevaluate maybe a monthly, a quarterly, biannually newsletter, let people know what's going on, fit it into the budget somehow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Financial report, item number 5, income and expenses will be reported by the city clerk, Charlotte Ray.
Our beginning balance was $46,534.68. Our total expenses were $5,106.65. A deposit of $1,888.19 from the Texas State Comptroller, leaving us with a balance of $43,316.22.
Oh, we only got sent money from the state comptroller every quarter.
Once a month.
I'm sorry, what was the discussion?
The monthly deposit from the state. He thought it was quarterly.
We get a monthly deposit, yeah. I haven't asked, but I was thinking our November deposit was going to include the first full value from Dollar General. You don't get a breakout?
No.
You don't get a breakout? Okay.
The one I just got in the mail like 2 days ago was for $2,300. I have to pay
Okay.
for something. So it's gone up.
Okay. Well, let's hope that continues. Okay, any questions on, from the council on that? Okay, number 6, looks like we have a lot of items on the consent agenda. So if I remember correctly, the way this works, we can approve them all, or if any of them need to be pulled for discussion, then I need to know that ahead of time. So I'll ask the members of the council if there's anything that they want to discuss separately.
Looking for the minutes for the 8th of September.
I have them right here. Did you get one of these?
8th, no, I'm
You
sorry.
get one of these?
I do.
Okay.
No, I don't. Wait a second. This was the meeting.
Yes.
One second.
I have them right here.
That's right.
We didn't do this. We didn't have minutes from the public hearings or the special meeting.
No, that's what Charlotte told me. There were no minutes from the public hearing.
That's what I was thinking. So I need to pull this item. Honestly? Okay. That we did.
Actually, it may have been the cancellation of the election,
Well, we had,
those minutes.
we had the second, we had a meeting on the 2nd and the 8th, and then the regular meeting on the 10th.
Okay, the 8th was the continuance for the 2nd, so it was the
Continuance.
2nd that had the cancellation of the election, and then the 8th was the continuance.
You are correct, okay. So did we do, I don't think we did minutes for that.
Not for the
For
public
the,
hearing.
for the special meeting.
Oh, she,
Public hearing.
We may need to pull this and have it redone for the next.
Charlotte, do you remember if we approved the minutes for the September 2nd meeting?
No, we didn't, and I didn't bring them because the agenda I was looking at didn't have them on the agenda.
Right, but we had the special meeting ahead of the public
Second and the
hearing.
eighth.
Well, we only had a special meeting on the 2nd.
It
Right,
was
right.
continued onto the
Then we
8th.
had a special meeting, then we had a public hearing, and then we had the continuance of the public hearing.
And these both right.
Yeah, that one.
There was 2 meetings, yeah, and I didn't bring the minutes because they
Yeah.
weren't on the agenda for the 2nd and the 8th.
Okay.
Below the coast, some of them were posted already. They haven't approved it. I mean, we need to pull those minutes.
On the website?
They probably should be pulled.
I don't know.
We have-
Okay.
See,
Let's make myself a
This
note.
one doesn't have a second, this one did.
They shouldn't be posted.
This one doesn't.
This
I
is the
think
one.
they are. Okay.
You want to move the October 8th minutes to the next meeting
Yeah.
to clarify that September
Yes.
Pull item
date?
3.
See, and it doesn't even have.
Number
the
3?
2nd, the 2nd, and the 8th.
One.
Or 6th one?
From October the 8th.
What are you looking at? Why is your agenda different?
Is this one I copied of?
Oh.
This is one that was emailed. This is one that was sent. No, here, I think this one, but it didn't change.
Okay, yeah, I think it did.
Sure did.
Yeah,
This is the one he sent out.
the first one, but there were things that were,
Yeah, then we changed it and there's that.
sorry. Okay, anyone else have concerns with any of the other items on number 6? Do you want to make a motion?
So we pull the 8th.
Mhm.
Pulling the 8th
Mhm.
of October.
You want to make a motion?
Right, make a motion that we pull item 1. There's some corrections need to be made.
Okay.
There's some
We'll
items-
pull it from here and we'll address the rest and we'll do that one after.
Right.
Is that correct?
Mhm.
Okay,
Just the first one?
just the
Just
first one.
First one.
So consent agenda items 2 through 6.
And that's the one that's September the 2nd?
No, you must be looking at an old agenda.
Yeah, see, there was 2 agendas out there, and I thought I copied the one for everybody.
Well, he
one
sent
off
the
this.
preliminary, but not the final one is the one we should be working from.
The one I
Okay.
printed, which is the one that was posted on the website.
Which one do you have, BJ? Let me see.
I've got the same one I think y'all did.
Yeah, you got the right one. Okay.
That's the right one. I have this one. If anybody else needs it, I have the.
Does anybody need a copy?
No, I have both of them. I just didn't
Oh, okay.
have both.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem with the others.
Okay. Make a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda minus item 1.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? When we take a vote, I would prefer going forward that it's a verbal vote. Is that okay?
Yeah, you can do it.
Okay.
That's how you want.
So, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Okay, item number 7, just,
Before you move on regarding 6-1.
Oh, sorry, I do need to do that
There
one.
needs to be a motion
To
to
move-
postpone it to the next
postpone it.
meeting.
I'm sorry, we need a motion on consent agenda item number 1.
I'll make a motion on consent agenda item 1 to pull that one and hold it, what?
For next.
For next.
Till next. We have a motion to hold a consent agenda item 1 till next meeting. Do we have a second?
Sure. I'll second.
Thank you. Any more discussion?
What's the correction that has to be made on?
We don't have the minutes for the September 2nd special meeting. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Okay. Item number 7, discuss and consider a records management plan for the city from the records management officer during the policies and procedures, or regarding the policies and procedures for record keeping and preservation of records of the city. I think at our last meeting, it was unanimous that our city clerk would be our records management officer. Do you have anything to
I
update?
don't have a plan written up. This is all the paperwork that I've copied to make, and then Cassandra said I had to do the policy, which I have not made. I don't know how to do a policy.
Okay.
So that's going to take a little more,
Is the TML a good resource for her
10
too?
steps. This is
TML
10 steps to creating a records management policy. I thought I could get one off of the internet.
Yeah, I had a hard time finding one
which
off the
is
internet too.
What I
from-
copied this for. This is
Oh.
a retention schedule for records common to all local governments that I got from the Texas Library. But I can go over there. I just wasn't sure. I thought I could just use this.
Charlotte, you could try TML or also the Texas State Library Archives, I can't remember their official name, for a guide policy. They may tell you, though, that every city is different, and it's really how you want to maintain records and preserve records. We just need to make sure that we're preserving all our records and keeping them in accordance with the law, so those that can be discarded after 60 days can be destroyed or discarded, and those that need to be kept, like an ordinance that needs to be kept, cannot be discarded, we know what those are. So I can, if you have a policy, I can assist. It is going to take a lot of time. So,
Right.
it's
I'll
just-
see what I can get and then make a meeting with you to go over it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Charlotte. Number 8 is discuss and consider an ordinance of the City of Sandy Oaks approving a contract with Tiger Sanitation for solid waste collection and disposal and recycling services within the city. And I think I have a copy of the actual contract here. Do you know, Cassandra, if this was changed in any way from what was provided previously?
Not from what I sent you. There is just one issue regarding a franchise fee. in our request for qualifications and their response, Tiger had said that we could talk about a franchise fee. When I sent the contract with proposals, kind of a blank percentage, depending on what the council wanted to talk about with Tiger. It may have been something that they thought we hadn't discussed at the last meeting, but the last meeting, my understanding is that was just to approve them as the entity, not to approve the contract or any details of the contract, and that was going to be what this meeting was for, and the month in between to negotiate a contract. So if the city is interested, I had asked him if not having a franchise fee to the city would be an issue earlier today, and I've not heard back from him, so I don't know if that's something the city wants to consider and the council wants to consider, or just not, just have them not pay a franchise fee to the city for using the streets and having the exclusive contract.
Right.
So that's up to council. Otherwise, it was kind of, nothing else has changed. It was kind of a standard or waste contract with kind of some other things to protect
But it
each
didn't
party.
change from what was in their proposal?
No.
Okay.
Except for all our bills have changed.
Actually, that's not right. They did provide what was in their proposal, and there were some things that I did add, and they approved everything that I added. And the only issue that we haven't resolved between Tiger and my discussion with them was whether there was going to be a franchise fee or not.
I think they wanted to pass the franchise
I
fees on
thought
to
they
the
said
customer.
Right.
they would do a franchise fee, but they would pass it on to the
Right, and we didn't
Okay.
want to do a
So,
pass.
yeah,
Okay.
the same thing as with the, with SAW.
Okay.
If SAW is going to
Right.
pass on to the customer,
Yeah, we didn't wanna do
citizens,
that.
we're not going to do that.
Okay,
Um,
then the contract you have before you doesn't have anything about a franchise fee. That was removed.
Okay.
Yeah. And could you just go ahead and let, or read what the fees are going to be to clarify?
Is that
for the
attached
council?
back here? It's not attached back here, and I don't have my package from them.
It's not in the contract?
The fee schedule is not in this contract now.
No,
Charlotte,
it
do you-
is. It's the monthly rate is $15.25 per month.
Well, then how did I miss that?
It looks like it's on page 3, number 9.
Yeah.
Rates
It's
collected.
Ah,
towards
there
the
it is,
bottom of the
okay.
page.
Okay, so the contract reads, "The contractor shall bill each resident quarterly prior to the services being rendered, based on an initial rate of $15.25 per month per household, plus any applicable taxes and fees for solid waste and recycling services. Bulk and brush collection charges are included in the base rate. The contractor shall be solely responsible for remitting collected taxes in accordance with all applicable state, federal, and local law. Accounts that are 30 days past due from the date of the invoice will be placed on a hold status until payment is received. The contractor shall bill commercial and industrial customers monthly prior to the service rendered at the initial rate per commercial industrial property as provided in Exhibit B, plus applicable tax and fees. Contractor shall be solely responsible for remitting collected taxes in accordance with all applicable state, federal, and local law. Accounts that are 30 days past due from the date of the invoice will be placed on a hold status until payment is received. These rates may be subject to adjustment as set forth in paragraph 10, which talks about CPI, a formula that they're using here, monthly. In applying the above formula for monthly customer service charge adjustment, the following definition shall apply. The service year, the base service charge, and some CPI calculations.
So sum it, if you're currently a Tiger customer and you're paying $75 a month, you're
A quarter.
a quarter, your bill is going to drop to what was negotiated in this contract, which is about $47 and some change.
Will that be a uniform amount for everyone? in the community?
Everyone in the city, yes.
Because what's happening now is we're all getting different bills all of a sudden.
Well, we don't have a contract in place, so when we have a contract in place, these rates will apply.
This is set to start January 1st. I think
Yes.
Tiger said that they would be sending out flyers or a mail out to all the residents and commercial businesses to let you know what was happening and payment process, or payment, and also the schedule. The schedule is trash once a week, recycling every other week, and I think bulk items, brush quarterly. I'm not sure about the quarterly, but that they will send something.
Quarterly was what they said.
Yeah, okay, then I think that's what the contract says. So they'll send everyone information on how they're gonna proceed and give you your bins.
So say it's gonna be $15 a month, plus whatever they charge for the container and everything else.
The containers are free.
Containers are
You're
free.
gonna get a
Right
mail
now,
out
currently
It's
claiming-
$15.25 a month plus taxes.
plus tax, whatever the tax is.
but the containers are free.
The containers are
We're gonna
free.
bill a monthly or
Quarterly.
Quarterly.
In advance.
So that's gonna be a decrease of about $30
Sure.
for.
What's it, it references Exhibit B, though.
Well, that was in the contract that they the pricing schedule,
It's
the
the same-
full
the
pricing
same one?
schedule is not attached
Right.
to this.
The same
List all the
Yes.
bulk, the
Okay.
large containers and such. Okay.
I just didn't know what it was referring to, but it's that same contract?
Correct.
Yes.
Same pricing schedules that they provided.
Well, I make a motion that we accept the contract submitted by Tiger for trash pickup throughout the city.
Do we have to say when it's effective or anything?
It'll
It's
be
in the
effective
contract.
1
It's
January,
January 2016.
and they'll handle all the notices.
I haven't seen a contract for the entire proposal, so
It's in your pack. Did you not get a package of?
No, she's talking
I think
about
she's
that
referring to
folder.
the response to
what
the
folder?
park.
that
Oh,
that y'all
but
got
the
before.
proposal.
I've not seen any of that.
The folder.
The proposals.
Oh, you haven't seen the proposals. That is true.
Wet blanket.
Yeah, but we need to approve it. We need to do this today. It's not
Yeah.
effective 1
Well,
January.
I have an extra, I mean, you can have mine if you want to read it before you vote on it.
Well, if y'all want to wait while I read it.
Well, I mean, no, I don't have it with me right now. I'd have to get it.
Well,
You could
Cassandra
read
has it in her car. I should talk about it. Do you have any specific concerns, BJ?
I have concerns that I haven't read. I'm not going to vote on something I haven't read.
We're voting on the contract.
The
though, not
contract
the-
only. That's, they, yeah, what's in the contract?
Well,
Well, there we go.
I have no idea what's in the contract.
You have the
She has the copy of the contract. She hasn't
I
seen the
don't
full
have-
proposal that we
Well, it
got.
doesn't matter, the proposal doesn't
Here's a
matter,
copy
it's the
then.
contract we're
No,
The contract?
No, the contract, I didn't even have a copy of the contract.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you didn't have the proposal. You said what we,
No, I didn't even have a copy of the contract.
okay. Well, could we take a recess?
You can
while
either,
Now, give me 5 minutes.
okay, I was gonna say we can recess or, no, recess is probably the best thing
Yeah.
to do instead of moving on.
Okay. So do I have
I didn't think about it.
a motion? We need a motion for recess? Okay. We're going to take a 10-minute recess,
5 is good.
10, and we will be back.
Take it long.
It is 7:10. It's 7:20. We're going to return from recess. We are on item number 8, which is discuss and consider an ordinance of the City of Sandy Oaks approving a contract with Tiger Sanitation for solid waste collection and disposal and recycling services within the city. Where we left it, we had a motion on the table, but we took a recess in order that Alderman Gillespie could be brought up to speed on the contract. So do we leave the motion on the table?
Yeah, motions.
I
Okay.
think you need a second though.
I do need a second,
Right.
yes.
I'll second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Nay? Or those opposed say nay, I'm for it. Motion passes. I don't get to vote anyway. Okay. This next item, number 9, is to discuss and consider opting out of the Texas Municipal League Small Municipality Program and upgrade to the level necessary to allow for insuring city-owned vehicles. This is a carryover from a previous meeting. And I just received the proposal, so I haven't even had time to look at it, but I do know that we did get contacted again from the county asking when we're going to pick up the vehicles. So, Charlotte, do you have any insight into this at all?
Not really.
Okay. Well, my concern is the proposal that they've given us says the proposal is due October 9th. Does that mean that was the deadline, or that's when they delivered
Never
it?
said anything about a deadline.
What would you interpret that?
That's the deadline for,
Accepting their proposal? Okay. So it appears as if that has passed.
Before we just asked for it in October.
Well, it looks like they sent it to Jim back in October.
October 8th.
It's dated October 8th.
Can it be the deadline? Yeah.
is that the date of the actual proposal, or is that the deadline in the proposal for the respondents, whoever responds?
Give me copies of that.
I don't. I just have this one.
It's just right here.
Well, this
Maybe
is,
insurance could be a deadline
Yeah, that's
for a
what-
proposal.
that's what-
I mean, it's dated October the 8th.
The letter doesn't say.
but this talks about, this is dated October 8th, 2015, and it talks about the Municipal League Intergovernmental Risk Pool, which is no owned autos, no law enforcement personnel, no firefighters, paid or volunteer, and no utility exposure.
So we currently have.
That's what we currently have.
So then the upgrade would be,
Oh, you can look at this one.
You know what? I think there is just too much here to consider. My battery. I think there's too much to consider to,
look at the summary, just real quick.
you can look at that. I had something else here. Here it is. I don't know what we would be approving.
Basic insurance costs.
Mm-hmm. Well, wait a minute, this here has bids and proposals. So they're adding auto liability. Have you seen this at all? You have it?
I've seen the October 8th one, I haven't seen that.
Okay, so I think this came from that packet. So on page 3, it has the bid and proposal for auto liability.
For $1,361.
But Charlotte, is this keeping us in the small? I mean, did we make a change?
No, nothing's been changed.
So we're still part of the small municipality
Right,
program?
This part, right, at this time.
And these are in additions to it? These are riders to that policy, or?
It says that we have to become a standard municipality rather than a small city. So we're changing from a small city to a standard municipality. Then we need to select limits and deductibles. I think we probably need to go through this. and
I think so, too.
it's back at the next meeting. And I don't think we have a deadline, as long as we're not insuring the cars. Unfortunately, they'll have to stay for
They'll have
another
to
month.
stay, yeah.
At least.
I agree. I think we need more information on this one.
There's no deadline. Just,
It's for item 9. I'll make a motion that we table item 9 until next
You want to table it or
month.
postpone it?
Postpone until next month.
well, what do we
So,
need to find out?
so that the mayor can.
Well, we haven't even had a
really
chance to look
study
at
this
it.
proposal. Because basically we'll be changing our entity from a small city to a standard municipality. We need to go a little further into this to see what else it changes as far as any other coverages we have.
And what the
Also, what
overall
it's going to
price.
do to our premium, because the premium here for just those two vehicles is $1,300 a year, which would increase our monthly payment about $350.
No, I think it's 340.
Well, I'd say about $350,
347
so
a quarter? I think that was a quarter.
it is quarterly.
It's 347.
$347 quarterly. But
It's $100 a
still, I
month.
think we need to study this a little further and see what else happens if we become a standard municipality versus a small city municipality.
Well,
So,
when are they gonna make us pick up the cars like you were?
Well, they're asking us again. I got another email the other day.
Can we wait till next month to do that? Do they want us to?
we'll have to, I mean, we can't move the cars unless somebody has a trailer
No, I mean-
and we just move them.
Do we have to wait till next month to have?
We can-
Can't we have a meeting sooner?
We could call a special meeting about that.
No,
The
I was
issue
wondering
is
when
we
they were gonna
can't
make us
drive
pick
the
it up.
vehicles off that lot. We can haul the vehicles off that lot, if we can find somebody who can actually do that for us, and then that way they're out of the city pound. And Mr. Gutierrez, is that correct? We can physically move them on a trailer, just cannot drive them without insurance.
Well, that's what I was asking about, when they were gonna make us move the cars, so.
They're not really
Okay.
making us, but they're really asking us quite firmly.
So we can wait another month is what I mean. That's what I'm
We
saying, so if
could.
Postpone till next month.
I'll investigate other options to see what we can do to maybe get them moved. But in the meantime, let's entertain the motion on the table here.
Who's gonna call, because it says here that we can contact this person, who's gonna call?
Mr. Gutierrez and myself have been in contact with the county on this.
No, I mean for the insurance.
Oh, for the insurance?
Yeah, who's gonna do that?
I can do that.
You can do
Yeah,
that.
that's fine. I can do that. Okay, so we have a motion by Mr. Tremlay to postpone this agenda item till the next meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second by Ms. Gillespie. Any other discussion?
Can't do it,
Sorry?
can't do it.
Can't do
Don't
what?
want to discuss, damn it. Somebody wants to discuss from the floor.
Oh,
No, discussion amongst the council.
no, a discussion amongst the council only. We have a motion by Mr. Tremlay and a second by Ms. Gillespie. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Okay, item number 10, discuss and consider the bonding and insurance requirements for city officials handling city monies. This is also a carryover from the previous meeting. Charlotte?
I didn't find anything about it. I didn't get a call back from TML.
Oh, really?
So and when I looked and tried to find myself, there were so many bondings out there, I didn't even know which one we were looking for.
Okay.
I knew what it was for, I just didn't know what it was called.
So we have to get it through the TML?
Well, I know we don't have to get it through them, but they can guide me to where I need to go. Because when I tried to look at it myself, I couldn't tell.
Any guy.
Well, what about ACOG? I mean, I think we're a member of ACOG as well. With
Oh,
a,
okay, I've never used that.
well, I tell you what, I've got some contacts with some of the other small cities, so let me reach out to a few of them. I'll see if I can help you with that, Charlotte.
Yeah, TMO's handling insurance already, they may
They may cover
know
that.
how to, maybe something we can add.
Do we need to make a motion on this one?
No, it can just be
Unfinished.
taken to the next meeting.
Okay, there's not going to be any action on this item, on this agenda. Okay. Next item on the agenda, number 11. Discuss and consider WPPOA assets and properties offered to the City of Sandy Oaks and the status of the investigation by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. This is also a carryover from the previous meeting. I have nothing on this item. Mr. Thomasini, I think you had been working,
Yeah, just an update. They were requiring that the WPPOA do a soil analysis,
they who?
the TCEQ? or-
Okay.
TCEQ.
I'm always getting those initials mixed up. TCEQ, I believe is what. And they were asking to do that, and it hasn't been done. And I called the enforcement division for the TCEQ, and they told me if it wasn't done by October the 19th, which was their deadline, that it's possible that there could be court litigation. So, with that hanging over it, I mean, it's unfortunate that the complaint was made, but we have to deal with what's been done, so.
Well,
There could be a,
What was the complaint?
huh?
What was the complaint?
It was about soil contamination, or possible soil contamination.
Is it buried trash?
if,
They dug that up and hauled it off.
But there were barrels containing a substance. that
Mr.
was
Thomasini?
unfamiliar.
Yeah,
sorry, did Mr. Clement get a price? I know that was one of the items that was discussed at the last meeting.
$3,000 and $5,000 just for the core samples, and that's not paying for the analysis itself.
Did he only get one bid,
Oh, I
or?
don't know.
Does the
Okay.
property owners association?
That's not our property.
Yes.
Who's paying for
Doug?
that?
Please.
Anybody paying for that? Are we paying for that? Who's paying for that?
Yeah.
It's not our property though.
We don't have deed restrictions, we don't have maintenance going on, there's no crews, there's no equipment, there's no maintenance.
Excuse me, we're discussing an item on the agenda. The
Yeah.
open forum was earlier, so citizens aren't
Perhaps we
allowed.
should have some more of an open forum as these topics are brought up.
Ma'am,
Well, I
please.
can talk to you afterwards, that's fine.
Sure.
I'll be able to answer all your questions after.
So he did get pricing then
Yes.
for the samples?
Yeah, he didn't tell me from where or how many, but that's what he told me the price range
Did
was.
you have an idea how long it would take them to analyze that?
No, he didn't tell me that. I didn't ask him, but he didn't tell me.
Okay. Well,
I make a motion to table item 11.
we have a motion to table item number 11. Do we have a second?
No action.
Oh, I will.
Is it,
Oh, I think he's in a
I'll
second.
second it. That was
Okay.
yes. We have a second by Alderman Tremblay, a second by Alderman Thomasini. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Okay, item number 12. Discuss and consider soliciting bids for a contractor to clean and maintain the public right-of-way and have the city attorney prepare contractor requirements, including bonding and insurance. This is a carryover from the previous meeting. Can I move that item? I'm going to move that item to after number 17. Item 13, discuss and consider city council participation in the Incident Command System Class Number 402 in order for Texas elected and appointed officials to comply with Chapter 418 of the Texas Government Code. There is an effort underway at the county level to develop an incident management class. This training class is being offered for free. It is required by all elected and appointed officials of the municipality to attend this class. Charlotte, did you get the notice drafted on that one?
get it
To,
drafted?
well, to get it published, filled out, so we can publish it?
I'll do that tomorrow.
Okay. We have a meeting scheduled for November 18th. It's going to be at the Emergency Operations Center. That is, here we go. That's right. Where's my maps? Here we go. All right. It's a 2.5-hour class. They teach in order for Texas elected and appointed officials to comply with Texas Government Code Section 418. It also informs the elected and appointed officials what and how to expect the type of assistance in case of disasters in their municipalities. They've offered to teach the class at our location. I asked them if we could use their facility because they do offer that as a tour. But because we're renting a facility here and it was getting difficult to get a date nailed down, they're more flexible, so they offered to allow us to do it there. So all the elected and appointed officials, you don't have to be there if you don't want to, but you're welcome to come if you'd like.
I think it's for emergency management.
It is. It is part of the emergency management. So that's going to be on Thursday, the 18th of November. And we will have a notice published, official notice published, because we will have all of our elected officials there, so there's potential of quorum, and we need to publish those as part of open meetings. But it's going to be at 6 p.m. It's at the Emergency Operations Center. It's over at City Base.
So do you know the address?
I do. It's on the notice that we'll get you a copy sent out. November 18th, 6 p.m. I think it's Thursday.
Oh, is it Thursday? Oh, no, it's Wednesday.
Is it a Wednesday? The 18th?
18th is Wednesday.
You are correct. So I correct that. It's Wednesday, the 18th.
You're going to send us all.
Yes, there's a notice that'll be going out. We'll post it on the website, and each of the elected and appointed officials will receive a copy as well. So it says that we need to discuss and consider our participation. Is this something we need to vote on?
No action needs to be taken on it. I think it was more of a, just a briefing by you, and
Okay.
then the notice will be posted.
All right, so we'll have no action on item 13. The next item up is number 14, discuss and consider the Bexar County Hazard Mitigation Plan and letter of intent for city's participation in the plan. This is part of that same incident management class that we're talking about. And on the hazard mitigation plan, Bexar County is beginning a 2-year process to develop a hazard mitigation plan that they refer to as HMP, and having it approved by state and federal emergency management agency, and having the HMP adopted by local governments in the county. The county encourages all municipalities in Bexar County to fully participate in developing this important plan. Bexar County will fund the HMP and contract with a vendor to develop it for Bexar County and all interested municipalities. Participating municipalities will need to fully participate in the planning process in order to be part of HMP. The HMP, it's a process used by state and local governments to engage stakeholders, identify hazards and vulnerabilities, develop a long-term strategy and reduce risk and future losses, and implement the plan. Cities and counties are required to approve and adopt an HMP in order to be eligible for federal Unified Hazard Mitigation Grant funding, which includes the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program, pre-disaster mitigation, and the flood mitigation assistance programs. These grants provide an average of $37.5 million in mitigation funds for Texas counties and cities every year. These HMPs are revised every 5 years, so this next one must be completed and approved by the state and FEMA not later than July 12th of 2017. Large regional plans, such as the previous one with ACOG, are no longer allowed by FEMA. Bexar County Office of Emergency Management will fund a contractor to assist in the completion of the HMP. There will be no charge to any city for participating in the plan. One thing that we would need to do as a participating city, we would need to appoint a representative to provide input during the development and schedule public meetings in order to discuss and draft the HMP with their residents. So I hope everybody got a copy of this. This is the sample letter of intent to participate. We'd have to put it on city letterhead and address it back. Did you get a copy of
I
this?
thought we had done that. That's all in a packet that I gave Jim way back. And I thought it was done.
I don't know that it was done. So one of the things we need to do is identify a representative and an alternate who would be,
Do they want somebody on the city council to do it?
does not say they have to be on the city council. It just says we have to provide a representative. I know there are, and it's a shame Karen's not here because she has worked in some capacity some of those items, so she would be, a good resource. But I'd like to possibly ask within the community if there's anybody who has that level of desire or experience to participate. I mean, is that acceptable to do that? Unless somebody here wants to.
Well, I'll do it if nobody else, if you can't find anybody else that already does that.
Well, I was going to nominate you to also be either the representative or the alternate by default.
I've done that in Floresville.
Okay. So we can put you down. And how would we go about notifying the public to find out if there's anyone who's interested in doing that? Just word of mouth,
Yeah,
put it on the
could be
website?
Yeah, on the website as a request for applications, or set it up at the next meeting where they can speak
Invite
during
people to
this
come
business
in.
be heard.
Okay. So this is really a two-part issue. I mean, we have to decide, are we going to participate in this? And the second part is signing the letter. So we can do the letter. Forgot one important thing. This has to be done by December 1st.
The appointment?
This form of our intent has to be submitted by December. I bet we can adjust our representatives if we needed to. So by default, we could put Jesse and Doug if they wanted to do that.
There may be like a notice if those representatives change, and
Right.
I'm sure that's would be
Right.
acceptable.
But really what they're looking for is our letter of intent to participate. So I don't know that the actual representatives are the most critical piece of this. So, any motions, any discussion?
Well, I'll make a motion that we participate in the HMP
Okay,
as required.
okay. We have a motion by,
and send our letter of intent by the deadline.
okay.
Second.
Wait a minute. Motion by Mr. Tremlay to accept participation and provide our letter of intent. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Gillespie, second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. The motion passes. Okay, we'll get this, Charlotte, we'll get this signed. It needs to go on letterhead. So if you'll do it, we'll get it signed and sent off.
Do you also want to designate a representative now, at least for the purposes of that letter?
Yeah, let's do Jesse Gutierrez.
He's accepting the nomination.
Pardon?
He's accepted the
He
nomination.
did, yes, he did. And Mr. Tremlay, we'll put you as an alternate.
Mr. Thomasini?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's that other DT. Mr. Thomasini, I'm putting you as an alternate if that is okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll have to get some personal information from you guys to complete the letter, so we'll do that and get this letter sent off in time. Okay, number 15. Discuss and consider an ordinance banning the sale of fireworks within the city limits of Sandy Oaks. I have not seen one. Did we get one drawn up?
Oh, no, I haven't prepared one yet because I didn't know if there was I guess what the specifics were, but if it's just a general ban within the city.
Well, the ban, it'll be based on Senate Bill 1593,
Okay.
which gives us the authority to ban the sale of fireworks within 500 feet of the city
Okay,
limits.
that's what I thought it was, but I wasn't sure if that's what we were.
Now, although we're not banning the use of fireworks, we will ban
Just the sale.
sale of fireworks within the city, thus preempting any storage of such fireworks for any
Within the
extended
city.
period of time.
And is that a copy of the bill?
This is a copy of the Senate bill.
Can you read that just for the, it's short?
Oh,
well, the synopsis.
Basically, it says the municipality may define and prohibit as a nuisance the sale or use of fireworks or similar material within the limits of the municipality. Also, sets the limits within 5,000 feet of the outside limits. And this was passed back in July
Yeah.
of 2015, effective September 1st. So we're well within our rights to do this.
Right.
Does anybody want to read this, or?
Well, yeah, that's good.
Here's some more when it was signed.
So you're going to draft a ordinance on this one?
Yes. to
Just
present-
based on the Senate Bill 1593?
Yes, present to council and it can go on either the consent agenda or if there are any changes at the next
Perfect.
meeting.
Okay, so we need a motion
Mail it out
to,
fireworks vendors. Mr. W. Dingus, we'll just mail it to them.
They'll be setting up soon.
Right.
can y'all hear us down there? We need a motion to instruct the attorney to draft the ordinance. I can't make it, so.
Make a motion to instruct the city attorney to prepare the ordinance prohibiting the sale of fireworks within the city limits of Sandy Oaks,
We have a
based on
motion.
Senate Bill 1593.
There you go.
But it's just the sale, not the
Correct.
use.
Right.
Correct. Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Tremblay to instruct the attorney to draft an ordinance banning the sale of fireworks within the city limits based on Senate Bill 1593. Do we have a second?
Second?
Alderman Gillespie is a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Okay, item 16.
I'd like to revisit, before you go to item 16, I'd like to revisit item 11 on the agenda with a counter proposal. I'd like to make a counter proposal possibly to the PPOA that we accept their assets minus the park at this time until they can clear up that issue. This would enable us to move forward with our contract for the maintenance of right-of-ways within the city so that we're not excluding anything within the subdivision. Because as it stands, we don't have any responsibility for the private streets. So that would be my suggestion, or my motion. I'd like to amend the motion made for item 11 to include that, if there's any other discussion. So we're going to discuss the maintenance issue on the right-of-ways, as well as trash to be picked up quarterly. We're going to set guidelines for that. So that's what I would like to do, and if that's acceptable, I'd like to make a motion that we do that and instruct the attorney to contact Mr. Clement with that offer that we would take all their assets minus the park at this time.
Do we know what those are specifically?
It'll be all the streets, it'd be those other properties that they have, we'll take those, just be everything they have, all their assets that they've listed, minus the park.
Do we have a clear delineation of what those are?
They have provided a list, I was just wondering if that would also include, I mean, they also included their liabilities within those assets and whether that would
Oh, we're only
also
gonna
be
take,
included.
I'm only motioning to take the assets.
Yeah, so we
not
do have a
taking-
list of what the personal property is. I haven't looked at it in a while, but I think there was like some vehicle, or the vehicle, there was the clubhouse,
But all that's
Or
within the
We won't-
park,
we
and
won't
we're
take
talking about
anything within the
excluding
park. I
that.
want
Okay.
nothing within the
Just
park
the
area.
streets and
The streets and
The common areas and the other properties they listed,
and they
minus
didn't-
the park.
they didn't list what streets specifically.
It's all the
Yeah,
street
so
within the
it's,
subdivision,
that's what it
yeah.
would, we just have to know, delineate what streets, but if y'all know what streets within the park, we can use that as
As a city, we only took county roads
Mm-hmm.
when we incorporated.
And so any streetlights or anything that are within that,
We'll
outside
take
of the
them
park
from
area,
the-
we
From the
would take
point on
that.
that, we would accept them. Any thoughts?
I think that's a good idea. I think we need to move on with this. The main entrance is just,
That's one of my thoughts, and if
Right.
we're going to discuss maintenance
yeah,
and getting a contract, and I'd like to include everything rather than have to revisit it later and redo another contract. And I think, I just think we need to really clean up the entrances.
yeah. Agreed.
Okay, so you made a motion to counter a
The
proposal
PPOA proposal to transfer all their assets.
to transfer all assets except the park and
Park
any,
and anything included
anything
within
within
the
the
park area
confines.
until
Okay.
their issues have been cleared up with the TCEQ.
Well, he's probably gonna ask if that's the streetlights too, though.
If they're on.
If they're
on
not in the
streets,
park.
Right.
then yes.
or just without taking all the assets, maybe some agreement that the city would maintain them until the park is, or what happens with the park is figured out, so that way the city's not inheriting
Exactly.
the assets. Just some sort of agreement will maintain them, not acquire it. Is that what?
No,
I
we
think
need
we're
go
looking
ahead
to
and
acquire
transfer
them.
We need to go ahead and transfer them, take
Okay.
ownership of them.
Because they are, I think on the inventory that he did provide, we had,
There were some other properties. You
yeah,
can look at
they
the
had
list, but-
unique tax ID numbers.
Okay.
So some of that is,
Yeah.
So if he's willing to do that, then we can at least get going on maintaining
Okay.
the streets and the common areas, the right of ways, the entrance to the subdivision, which is really subdivision property. But I think once they get to the point where where he has washed his hands of all the everything there, the PPOA is actually going to dissolve, which there no longer will be a Waterwood Park.
right.
Correct? It'll just be Sandy Oaks.
Yeah.
So that's the motion. If we can,
I will
would you
second.
read it back, please?
Okay, so we have a motion to counter the proposal to the WPPOA to transfer all assets with the exception of the park and anything that exists within the confines of the park. We have a second?
Second?
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Well, who's gonna go?
The lawyer is going
The
to,
attorney's
the
going to.
lawyer will deal with him.
Yes.
Mhm.
And then do y'all have a cost in mind, or just what their?
Cost.
Cost of
Is
what?
there to be a
Acquisition
cost?
cost. They're
Well, if
giving
you're,
it to us.
okay, if you're talking about other assets, because there were other assets on there, that's what I was, like, the personal
There's no
property.
personal.
We don't want
property.
it, we're talking streets and we'll take over the light
Well, there were
bills.
two other pieces of property.
Right, and
Yes,
it'll all be
anything
included.
outside of the confines of the park. Okay, we'll do that again. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Okay, Thank you, Alderman Tremblay. Okay, we're going to move on to number 16. Discuss and consider an ordinance related to trash and debris such as burning of household waste and establishing guidelines for the placement and retrieval of trash receptacles. This kind of follows in line with the Tiger contract, and the intent here is not to impose a lot of restrictions, but to just define what is acceptable. I think with the reduced pricing for trash services provided by Tiger, I think it becomes more affordable to a lot of people. So hopefully more people will take advantage of the contract. But one of the major complaints that I've been hearing in the neighborhood is when people burn household trash. And I know my neighbor across the street did it for quite a while, and it can be quite offensive. So the thought was that we would put something in place that would, we're not banning burning per se, because that's something that people can do with brush, but we're talking specifically about household waste and whether or not we want to define how long receptacles can be out. You know, trash needs to be picked up. You know, I know there's dogs out there and they're knocking trash over, and this is certainly open for discussion. It was just an item we put on here to kind of tag along with the trash proposal.
I think some of the issues that are listed on here, as far as it's related to trash, debris, household waste, establishing placement of such. We did pass ordinance that addresses some of these items, ordinance 2015-12, and in there it does list sanitary codes. As far as minimum sanitation and health protection measures, there's it does talk about being unlawful for any person to dump trash, refuse at any type on any vacant property or along any street or road within the city limits. So I think some of this stuff
It's already been addressed.
It's already been addressed. I think we need to probably start notifying some people who are in violation of some of these. I mean, we've been passing these and there's no enforcement for sure. We're not enforcing anything. What would be the problem with authorizing the city clerk to come up with a formatted letter that we send out to these people? And if we have to send it certified, we send it certified to the property owner and we send it to the address, because a lot of times you've got renters or whatever.
Right.
And just mentioning or citing the ordinance, that they're in violation of the ordinance and what fine will be imposed. And if it's not cleaned up, we impose the fine. Although we can't collect it at this time, it's still go on the records that they
But I
owe the
think that's
city.
part of the issue that we're faced with right now, is we have not published a master fine and fee schedule because we didn't have enforcement. I think that's kind of where we're at with that.
Each
So-
ordinance has listed what the fines are, though.
No, I don't think so.
Yes. It's in
As some
here.
ordinances do, and then
Yeah.
it would be published in the paper too.
Right.
Those.
But I thought we were going to have it, we had a master fine and fee schedule.
I thought we posted a master fee schedule. We
Well, it is,
published
but it
one.
really doesn't have anything in it.
Right.
It doesn't have
But
it.
Because we were waiting on,
Somebody needs to make the decision what
yeah,
those
like
fines are.
this one here has, let me see, this one is, that's for license and fees. It does have violations and fees in here for violation. If you look at 2015-12.
I just looked at that one. Mine does not say that. An ordinance, 2015-12? No, 2015-12. Oh, there's,
Health and sanitation.
sorry, that was 2014.
Each violation shall be fined not less than $50 and no more than $1,000 for each day the offense is being. On page 2. So probably the only thing we need to address on item 16 would be the placement of trash cans. and the burning of household waste. I think the other stuff is all, is covered in this ordinance.
Well, you know what I'm wondering is, could
Unless we just amend.
That's what I'm
we just
thinking.
amend this ordinance to add,
Right.
Yeah.
we can just add that to this ordinance rather than creating another one.
So what is it specifically you want to amend?
That trash receptacles will be, what's the time frame that you want to allow trash receptacles to be on the street? Because if we're going to issue, and we move to item 12, so if we're going to discuss doing maintenance on the public right-of-ways, and we've got people who leave their trash cans out in the right-of-way, the tractors are just going to
Right.
go around them, just like if there's a car in the street and you're plowing snow or
The
what have you,
dumpsters on
something
the
like
side of
that.
the road?
Excuse me?
The dumpsters on the side of the road.
Dumpsters have to go, they're going to be on public right-of-way. The dumpster's going to have to be in the yards, so that needs to be addressed in here as well. Trash receptacles, trash
Did that
dumpsters.
contract with Tiger say 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.? I think it said in the contract.
From the time they pick up?
When they pick
Right.
up, he's talking about when
They can leave it out.
when you leave them out.
But sure, I mean, you could put your trash receptacles out the day before trash collection would probably be acceptable, not to put it out 3 days before it comes. Or dumpsters definitely need to be on citizens' property. They shouldn't be on the public right-of-ways. So that,
Well,
I
and
mean,
some
that's
of the
two
people
items. And
leaving
as
their-
far as the burning of
their-
household trash, if you're gonna ban the burning of household trash, then it needs to be in there. And not sure how we can enforce that one, but, because they do allow it within the county.
But we're a city, so we can.
I understand,
yeah,
but-
I know. What were you going to say?
Some of these 95-gallon carts, they're being left out
I understand.
7 days a week.
Sure.
On the street.
And that's what we're trying to address, as well as piles of trash.
Yes.
That are on the curb. That
Yes.
people came from the city and think we have bulk pickup out here. So what would be acceptable? The day before trash pickup?
I think a 24-hour time frame
24 hours.
is sufficient.
So if you did something like that, if you said the day before, the day of, and the day after, so that would give us another window to be able to allow for the cleaning of the streets, mowing, whatever needed to happen.
Yeah, and we just need to when we get to that point, we just need to make sure that the contractor isn't out here cutting on trash pickup day.
Right,
That's
right,
pretty much it,
that's
right?
the big one, yeah.
And do we know whether everyone within the city is going to have the same trash pickup day? I don't think we know
Yes.
that yet.
Yes,
Yeah,
everybody
we
has
are.
the same, it's always,
Same day.
yeah.
So I would make a motion that we amend ordinance number 2015-12 to include, under the sanitary code, an item addressing placement of trash receptacles will be allowed 24 hours prior to collection of trash.
Do you want to address before and after placement?
And will be removed within 24 hours.
Okay. So
24 hours before, 24 hours after.
That's plenty of time.
No dumpsters will be placed on a public right-of-way. They can put them in their driveway, that's fine, but they need to be on their property, not on city property.
Okay. We have a motion by Alderman Tremblay to
Want to
amend.
put burning trash in this ordinance as well?
Can I confer with the, Marshall? I have a question for
Go
you.
ahead.
Do you have any insight into how we would identify or address the burning of household trash?
You have to define rubbish and what is trash. That's it, those definitions usually within ordinance. It's generally, you can't burn anything that's hazardous. Rubbish is defined usually as household, food type things.
Right.
And rubbish is everything else. And brush is just brush. So everything's gotta be strictly defined.
Cans, bottles,
I don't know how we
plastic,
can
diapers.
take care of, how we can address that specifically.
It shouldn't be burned. Anything plastic.
Maybe
Well,
we
we're about
should-
to get recycling, so it probably shouldn't be burned.
Yeah, I mean, we could just put in here burning of household trash / rubbish, no, will not be permitted,
And hazardous.
hazardous
Yeah.
material.
Okay,
And of course, find somewhere where it's already an ordinance, somebody who has broken down
Yeah,
those definitions.
Right.
yeah, there'll be those out there, and will include, and
perfect.
everything will not include.
Okay. Okay, you wanna,
So to restate that motion, the motion is to amend ordinance 2015-12 to include placement of trash receptacles will be allowed 24 hours prior to and 24 hours after the collection of,
Trash and recycle.
right, trash / trash
Recycle.
receptacles, recycling receptacles.
Recyclables. Yep.
/ dumpsters will not be placed, shall not be placed on public right-of-ways. If you want to just put it as a separate item, burning of household trash,
and the attorney will,
rubbish, and, yeah,
attorney will define those.
will not be permitted.
Okay.
But brush is okay.
You can burn brush, or
Brush is
everybody
okay.
burns.
Mhm. Okay, we have a motion on the table to amend ordinance 2015-12 regarding placement of trash receptacles to only be allowed for 24 hours before and 24 hours after pickup by Tiger Sanitation. That includes regular collection and recycling. Also, dumpsters should not be placed in the right-of-way. And no burning of household waste. The attorney will define a list appropriate for that ordinance. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Everyone in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say nay. Motion passes. Okay. Okay, number 17. Discuss and consider entering into the interlocal government agreement with Bear County for the purposes of purchasing services by Bear County to the City of Sandy Oaks and the city's participation pursuant to Local Government Code Section 271.101 in a cooperative purchasing program with Bear County wherein the city is allowed to write contracts with participating vendors. This has been something that's been in the works for a while. Through Judge Wolf has kind of been the catalyst behind this. And basically, what they do is they have already solicited, the county will allow the city to utilize the purchasing office of Bear County, who has already solicited bids, who already has approved vendors, and they are offering this interlocal agreement for that purchasing services to all of the small cities, suburban cities within Bear County, of which there are 26. You count San Antonio, that's 27. So basically, there are very minimal fees that are associated with this. It costs us nothing to participate until we actually utilize the services. Then there is a 1% fee back to the county. 1% of the total invoice goes back to the county. And there is a $100 fee per invoice that we pay. So the possible, let's say we have a contract, we decide to use a vendor that they've already approved, or they've made a bulk purchase of some item and we can participate in that pricing. And we opt to pay it out in 3 installments. So we would pay 1% for the contract, the total value of the contract to the county, and then $100 per invoice. That could be $300 on top of that. But I will say that this only applies to purchases of goods and services that are $5,000 and above. So it's, you know, it's not something that we're going to utilize a lot, but it is available to us. They've kind of already done all the background. We're utilizing their purchasing organization, and they have the contracts and everything, so it's just a matter of deciding if we want to participate.
Costs nothing to participate.
Until you make a purchase.
I see no problem with participating. We can always shop when we get ready to make a purchase.
That is true.
It's basically a blanket purchase agreement. The federal government uses it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We use it where I work. You basically have a list of approved vendors.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with it.
And the objective of that was to get better pricing through negotiated contracts with the county. That was one, but also to have an already approved list of vendors that we could go to without having to go out to bid. So, I mean, there was that benefit. Just so you know, the contract will terminate on September 30th of 2018, but can be extended, you know, after that. It can be terminated within 30 days' notice by either party. So, anyway.
Say, I have no problem with it. It's all the big government agencies use this type of purchasing system, so I don't see a problem with it. I'll make a motion that we enter into the agreement with Bear County to utilize their purchasing services should the need arise.
I second it.
Okay, we have a motion by Alderman Tremblay to enter into an agreement with Bear County for the interlocal purchase agreement cooperative purchasing program, and a second by Alderman Tremblay. No, Thomasini. Keep calling you.
I made the motion and seconded it.
You motioned and seconded. Do we have any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say no. Motion carries. Okay, we're going to go back to item 12, which was discuss and consider soliciting bids for a contractor to clean and maintain the public right-of-way and have the city attorney prepare contractor requirements, including bonding and insurance.
And I'm going to make a motion that we postpone this until we see what Clement has to say about transferring all of the properties. At that point, we could have a better idea what a contract is going to cost us, rather than redoing it 2 months down the road.
Okay.
Hopefully, he'll accept our offer, and we can start cleaning up the city.
Okay, we have
So
a
that's the motion.
motion on the table to postpone this item to the next meeting. Do we have a second?
Second.
Alderman Gillespie, second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. What was?
I
Okay.
can barely talk. My allergy is so bad I can barely talk. Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, item 18. Discuss and consider providing limited authority to the mayor to pursue land and building acquisitions on behalf of the city. This is something I discussed with the city attorney, and the reason it came up, and Mayor Pro Tem Gay, I understand his concern, and I'll be quite honest, there's been 3 incidences where I've had an opportunity to make a purchase on behalf of the city for a very, very substantially small price. Building, I think the first one came out to, it was under $10,000. I think it was $7,500, and that was transportation and building. The problem is the way the city operates. We have to call a special meeting. A lot of these things are time sensitive. I don't even have the flexibility to discuss, to lay the groundwork to prepare it to bring to the council for discussion. So in talking with Cassandra this was an option that we came up with. It would be very limited authority, but it would allow me to at least enter into some discussion or act on behalf of the city. Let's say one of the options is a letter of intent. That's something that the city is very interested in doing. So yes, we can put a letter of intent. I would get with Cassandra, and then it's not binding. The letter of intent is not binding, so we have a way out, but it's at least a way of providing something to the seller that we are interested.
As elected officials, aren't we all representatives of the city? Don't we all have the authority to pursue? Yet we don't have the authority to act.
Yeah, not without the.
So any
council
one of us
action.
could actually do the same thing. If you wanted to stop down here where they sell trailers and go in there and tell them, hey, you got any empty double wides, maybe, you know, in real good shape that we might be interested in using as a city hall. There's nothing that stops any one of us from doing that.
And then bring it forward.
But
to
you
council.
cannot commit
You cannot commit.
the city. You couldn't commit the city to making any purchase. So I don't know what this would do. I mean, if we're
Here's the deal. There's been two very specific opportunities that we had, and they are federal surplus. And I'll be honest with everybody. Each building was $2,500. That was the price. They were in excellent shape. I got quotes on transportation. So purchase and transportation was right around $7,500. But it had a 10-day window. When you're dealing with other governments, you have limited timeframes, and I could not commit on behalf of the city to any of that. And I could not get a response from the council to hold a special meeting. So the opportunity slips by. So that's twice that's happened, and the second one was actually a better deal than the first one.
Where would those buildings have gone?
So anyway, it's just an opportunity to be in a position to not make a firm commitment on behalf of the city, but to at least be able to, negotiate or?
Could be limited to the purpose of the building or land acquisition, but what the purpose is, a limited price, not over a certain amount of money, and then kind of beginning negotiations to then present to the council for consideration.
Okay.
But it just, it could be, instead of losing that time and having to wait for a regular meeting or calling a special meeting, at least going and kind of securing more than we've been able to secure for a particular purpose.
Okay. But,
An example.
you brought up an interesting point. All of us can engage in conversation. We just can't make the commitment.
Correct.
So I think maybe defining what we can and cannot do is perfectly acceptable. I'm just trying to figure out a way to we only meet once a month. It's hard to get.
I mean, you have the authority as the mayor of the city to do this. I don't think we need to pass a resolution or anything like that. I think you have the authority to do that. When it comes down to the actual purchasing of anything,
Absolutely.
then you need to come back to
No,
the council for
absolutely.
council approval.
Absolutely.
I just don't,
Well,
10-day window, I think you could pick up the phone and call me, and I'll be willing to have a special. But we need to realize also is that, the park area, just like Ernest was talking about, the park area is there, but the buildings are shot. Those buildings there have got to go. So we need to look for a building. We've got to get a place for Jesse to have an office, put a safe, although he may not hold prisoners in there. But for him to be totally operational to do his job, there's certain things we have to provide for him, and a building is one of them. So again, I think you have that authority already.
Okay. No, that's fine.
I don't think we need to pass anything to do that.
I didn't know if this was also kind of going further, not just looking, but
Well, I mean, you can negotiate,
Yeah.
and still, I think that's within your
For example,
powers
there's
to negotiate.
There's a piece of land that I'm interested in pursuing. So would it be acceptable for me to ask the attorney to draft a letter indicating if they are interested?
I think you could do that. I don't think the attorney has to do that.
Can I do that?
If that's, see, that's what I think the council needs to consider, what, how far is it going to go? Like, if it is a letter of intent, that may be a little more
And
than.
if
Right,
you have
right.
a sales
we're-
price, if you have a sales price, you can speak to an owner of a piece of property and have a negotiated price. And at that point, we can discuss it, and then the lawyer can go forward.
But I mean, that piece of property that I mentioned to you, if I wanted to engage in conversation with the owner about the potential purchase, that would be okay. I'm not committing to anything, but I can go ahead and open the discussion.
Yeah, I think you have the authority to do
Perfect.
that before
Okay.
any final plans come to council for approval.
Okay, perfect. Okay, well then, can I just remove this item? We need to take a motion.
I think, well, it's probably a whole other item, but we might need to discuss with the council looking for a piece of property and a building. Because I think the intent is that it's be in the park. It's just that this is taking so long. There's no telling how long this is going to drag on with the park. And again, like I say,
Well,
it's
see, and
important that we move forward and get.
No,
There's nothing wrong with looking at two different places to get the best deal.
Right.
Well, but
I'm
I
just
have a
saying,
question, I have a question for the attorney about the park, because the previous dedication deed that I saw for that 30-acre park down there specifically said that it has to be used for a park, and if it's not used for a park, then it reverts in some fashion. Since the council hasn't seen what has actually transpired between the previous owner and what is the effect on that dedication deed?
dedicated.
Because we can't come in as the city and say, oh, we're gonna park right here.
And I think we
Because I don't know
define-
that we know what restrictions are there.
We've defined the dedicated deed, and the dedicated deed does say it's for public use.
I understand, for public use.
For public use. And again, yes, you may not be able to put a city hall there.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I haven't seen any documents to give us guidelines, so I can't pursue, I can't sit and wait for that to become available when it may not be available.
Well, okay, well, I'll just make a motion that we table item 18, and I would say that we all have the authority to pursue a land or building, but the actual purchase of it would have to be approved by the council.
Okay.
I just don't see that there's a need.
No, that's fine. Okay, so we have a motion by Alderman Tremblay to table item 18. Do we have a second?
Second.
Alderman Gillespie, second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 19. Okay, discuss and consider declaring a vacancy of the position of Alderman Place 4 and the process and procedures for filling the vacancy either by appointment or special election, or ordering a special election for the unexpired term of Alderman Place 4 if necessary. So we want to find out from the council how you would like to address this open vacancy, whether it be by appointment or,
What does it cost for us to do an election?
Anywhere between 10 and
it
15,000.
was a lot
I think we
for
should,
one position.
I think we should do it by appointment, and we have interested folks just submit
So just
some
to-
type of a resume.
To give you a timeline, the next election date would be May 7th, I think, and then that person, so the position would remain vacant until May 7th,
And then it would only be for,
and then it would only be
For
until
a few
November.
months.
yeah, that's,
Because it expires in November.
yeah.
No, then there'd be another election November for the same position.
Right.
I said we would be due for an election for another seat as well.
Yes.
Yes.
and then-
So rather than do two.
Well, 3. There'd be the mayor and the 2 alderman positions will be up in November.
So could we do an appointment
until November. So the person, if there is an appointment, that person would serve until the next city election, which would be next November. And at that time, it'd be places 2 and 4 that would be up for
How
election.
do you do it?
I'm saying we would do an appointment and ask for a resume.
Oh, okay. That's it.
Or, I mean, we need some type of or maybe just an interviews. I mean, what do you all think?
I don't
If we
know.
do an
Is there
appointment
a legal-
process.
I mean, is there requirements that you have to meet for that?
No, well, you don't have to request any applications. You can appoint somebody if there's somebody in mind, or somebody who's expressed interest, or somebody you think would be good for the position. Or you can request for applications and then hold interviews at the next council meeting to appoint someone.
Leave it up to you guys, how y'all want to handle it. My preference is to have is to nominate. I don't see any point in expending money for an
Oh, no,
election
not
in a
for an
very
election,
short
but
period of
I think we can do
time.
an appointment. I believe, I think we should do some type of an application process. And,
I think that
And have a deadline for,
right.
A deadline.
We'd set a
have a
deadline.
deadline for it, and,
Right. This is December.
Yes.
Would be
Yeah.
the next meeting, so
Yeah.
we need to do it quickly.
yep.
So.
Why don't we just not have elections ever again? Just hire and fire whoever we want our city council to do.
So the cost for an election is $10,000 to $15,000.
Right.
And so that would be our cost to have an election
That's-
for one
Yes.
seat. And then have another election in
In
November.
November. Right.
So we'd spend $30,000 on holding elections. So I think the appointment process would be
Yeah.
the best way to go. And that way, again, we would get interested parties who want to serve.
Well, but we didn't even have enough people that wanted to run for
Right.
elections. So
I hear
we
you.
didn't get anybody
I hear you.
to volunteer.
I hear you.
So what if we put something on the website,
We'll put it on the website.
and then the nomination will be at the January meeting? I mean, because, we got the holidays coming up. We only have one meeting between now and then, or do you want to just do it at the next meeting?
January, February, March, April, May. See, it's only 4 months, I think. No sense to call it a special
Right.
election. Yeah, maybe we can make some, like the meeting signs that are out in those areas. Maybe we can just put nominations being accepted for vacant alderman position. What do you think?
I think I know somebody.
They can do that?
So I would make a motion that we use the appointment process
Nomination.
for nomination of the vacant council seat and ask for applications with a deadline of, what's the deadline?
We would want them ahead of the meeting.
Let's give them to right before Christmas.
Well, our next meeting is going to be January 8th.
Oh, is there no December?
We're not having a December.
Well, no, we are having a December.
Okay,
You want to
I'm
do it by
saying-
then?
No, we can do January, but just give them a deadline. Let's give them 30 days.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. So our next meeting is December 10th, and then the meeting after that is January 8th.
So if we give them 30 days for the application, is that not long enough? 45 days, I'll say 45 days. That way we have time to accept, to receive the applications.
Why don't we
and
say
can
by
review
December 31st?
them. Okay.
That gives us a week to review them.
That's not very long.
To review?
To review. Are you expecting a stampede?
No, I just.
Okay, so we have a motion from Alderman Tremblay to post on the web for nominations applications for the position of Alderman Place 4 with a deadline to return to the city clerk by December 31st. Nominations will be on January 8th, 2016, at the regular city council meeting.
Will we be required to select somebody from those people that?
Yes, yes.
Well,
As opposed to...
no, you wouldn't be, required necessarily, I mean, unless the council wants to, but it could still be where you appoint somebody that is willing to take the position that did not apply,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
as you would be able to do that today too. But you said the January 7th meeting is January 14th?
I think
Is
it's
that
January 8th, isn't it?
Second.
Second Thursday is the 8th?
I thought that was the 14th.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
14th. I was looking at Fridays. We'll change that to January 14th.
And it's the same qualifications, they have to live within the city and.
Oh, yes.
Sure.
all that.
Mhm. And so Charlotte, you can get the application. I think you already have it, or I may already have it on the website from the elections anyway. I'll just reactivate that. Okay. You want me to read the motion again?
I think so.
Okay, so we have motion from Alderman Tremblay to accept applications for nomination of Alderman Place 4. The notices will be placed on the city website with a deadline of December 31st to return them to the city clerk. And nominations will be made at the January 14th, 2016 meeting. Do we have a second?
Second.
What, the nominations come from us?
No,
No.
it's,
No.
we'll make a nomination, right, we'll make a selection.
Yes, the mayor will nominate the position. Council will vote on the nominations. Okay, we have a second by
Yes.
Alderman Gillespie. All in favor?
All right?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We're almost done, folks. Item number 20, discuss and consider selection of Mayor Pro Tem for the term of 1 year. Probably won't come as a big surprise to a lot of people, but I'm going to nominate David Tremblay to be Mayor Pro Tem. So we can take a vote on that. I'm not voting, but
I'll abstain.
you have to abstain, so with our short crew here.
Sure. You made the motion, and does anybody need to second it, or I'll second it?
I'll make the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Congratulations, Mayor Pro Tem. Okay, and one last item, number 21, let's consider a motion to adjourn. Anyone? Anyone?
Make a motion to adjourn.
I don't think you, yeah, I'll second it.
Okay, we are adjourned.